Hello, Sweet Tooth and Flutter Pyrex is here playing more Race Attorney. We almost got at me. It'll just take 5 more testimonies.
50 million.
50 testimonies. Alright.
Go for it.
I first received the request from Lolly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box in Zavari. It was then sent to the White House. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. And I didn't make that bigger for you. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavari.
What?
The judge accepts that. Very well then, Mr. Ray, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, Sacred Urn Heist. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed. Zavari. It seemed that they had heard of my sparkling reputation.
Zavari.
I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone into the storeroom, not even me. Huh, interesting new tidbit. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure.
What you're supposed to be doing is going to be very hard to see. I suggest you read some of the papers we have.
Read some of the papers we have.
Just read through them. It's easy to miss. Chippy's on.
What? Come on, man. It's been like 5 minutes.
Exactly. And I'm telling you to read through them because this one's kind of bullshitty if you don't.
What is it? If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead.
Wait a minute. Red diamond? That was to someone else then.
Oh, that's to him. He has the diamond on his hand.
It's not the right one then.
Speckled urn.
Exactly.
That it? On this one? It kind of makes sense.
There's several ones that you can put on.
Oh, that's kind of weird. Mr. Atme, if you really are Mask to Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask to Mask has written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Mask to Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor, which was 14 days. Oh. Huh. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Yeah. Yep, you're in trouble now. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, I did it. He's broken.
Nick, I think it's a little early for a victory pose.
Huh? Ha! It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask to Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that look at me was the one who killed Kane Bollard? Now let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you by merry murderous motive manifest? What?
Nick, he's getting his second win.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder.
Well, he found the blackmail letters pointing to him instead.
Yeah, it's the ring. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case.
Because we keep saying the blackmail letter, which must be someone else's.
Yeah, now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were? I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer.
Yeah, now he's gonna do another one.
They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Motive for murder. I, look at me, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bollard decided to investigate Mask to Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bollard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill King Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, King Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Atme and King Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Mistook? That's right, mistook, but from the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take in error. Oh, that wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master Mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course. Boy, I'd like to wipe the smug look off this guy's face. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Javari, take a look at this newspaper. Oh-ho, that's the famous Tear of Emanon, a magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly god, namely the defendant. The defendant? The victim clearly misread this article and Zavari. He got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Mask the Mask. I see.
That's an unusually reasonable decision. Deduction.
You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says bring $50,000. And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's? There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere. An addressee. This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment. And Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place in time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder.
What's next?
I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Well, do you have any evidence though?
For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about the blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Somebody! Yep. King Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here's the file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually masked to mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. You really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Ronnie thinks he's master mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly for him. Huh. Well, Mr. Trite? Was he trying to act like Miss Delight just now?
I thought he was actually pretty convincing.
Sure. Now that's just your imagination talking. Come down, Salaya. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves? It's a long story, and better saved for another time. Very well, another time. Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least not in my experience.
Detective Atney to Mr. Bullard?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron?
We don't have enough information. Use your person for more testimony.
Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way. So how do I prove this? What am I proving? The red diamond. But how do I bring that up?
Right now, I don't think you're focusing on the red diamond. I think you're focusing on, was it really Ron Delight that it was sent to?
How do I know? How?
Statement 3, there's a blackmail letter.
Oh, because there's no addressee on it? Oh, okay. I got it. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron DeLight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction. I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. Boy, you're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists.
What?
Why don't you show us what you got there, Junior? Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Come on, Judge, stop. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. What? Does it want me to present the blackmail letter again?
It doesn't. You want to know what to present?
Yeah.
Newspaper clipping. They're thinking that it means the Tear of Eminon, but the Tear of Eminon is blue, not red.
Oh. So it's gone for this.
Yeah.
What is a Tear of Eminon? Is that like an amulet or something?
It's the first thing you stole.
But what is it?
A diamond? I don't know what kind of jewelry it is.
I guess that makes sense, yeah. That's a contradiction. Like it says red diamond in the blackmail letter, but it's not the blue thing. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Eminon, the stolen jewel. What about it? The problem is this jewel's color. So you don't say that about a person, because that's going to be taken so wrong. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. Take it out, smart. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means I'm not colorblind. The red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Eminon that Master Mask stole at all. And your point is, Mr. Trite? So you are trying to say that the blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, that's what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
Oh my god. Yes. Stop. Everyone. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Kababa. Savati. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel. Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that King Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Order. Order in the court.
Objection.
It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Uh-oh. I don't like the way you said that. Kane Bullard blackmail and Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Yeah, he's gonna scald me with hot coffee. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. You don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke at me's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? Atme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Look at Me wanted to desperately keep was a blackmailer?
I think so. Denise Detective is funny.
Denise Detective.
Did you even choose that one? I just want to see what they say for that stupid response.
Look at Me was an ace detective. Thank you for your kind introduction. I am Look at Me, ace detective. One embodies in the various forces of darkness, the other angelic tribes of light. I am completely lost. Someone get me a translator. But anyway, everyone already knows you're an ace detective.
Come on, Nick, are you even trying anymore?
Actually, I kind of wonder myself.
That was hilarious. That was worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Look at Me was a blackmailer.
Objection!
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Look at Me. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
Yes. You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Look at Me. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. Detailed plans. In which case, that would mean Ron Delight was actually masked and masked. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Look at Me. Shh! Silence!
Somebody!
Somebody! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Look at Me, was blackmailing Ron Delight. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. Certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Look at Me know that Ron Delight was Master Mask?
Was there any proof that they were together during the first crime?
Yeah, newspaper clipping. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. Ooh, what do you mean? This newspaper clipping. has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct? With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Ron Delight. Yep. Your reputation's ruined, if you even had one. How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I never have blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why you? How dare you even disturb us?
Blackmail murder threats, I'd get away with all of it.
Yeah.
So he admitted it.
He just admitted it. It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme.
Bailiff, please prepare the cell for Mr. Atme.
Objection!
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I've already prepared to deliver my ruling. Stop it. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
That's not your job. You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trike.
But the judge literally said he's ready to do his ruling.
Yeah, what do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Look at Me was a filthy blackmailer. That he wasn't at Lordly Taylor the night of the murder. That's right. That's why I killed the one who killed Mr. But... there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse farm man was at KB security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Rake, this is it. Final round. Gonna leave it off here. Cliffhanger. I guess we didn't really establish that he was at the crime scene, did we?
Nope.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The thing is that it's still his goal. If you're found innocent for the heist, then he still has. You're not gonna be tried again for this crime. Which means he still has that stupid alibi thing, apparently.
Oh.
Because the law in this game is stupid.
Alright, anyways, want to thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Hope you have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.